Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Hello. Hope all is well. It's been a while. Trying to get my phone on silent before we get started here. And it's been a while since I've been on. And I've told you guys before. My son and his girlfriend, they moved out, and I live here alone now. And when you live alone, you don't really have someone to talk to. Like if you're married or you have a relationship with the boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, uh, you have someone you can talk to, confide in, and different things like that. And something that has just absolutely broken my heart is the George Floyd story. I mean, it has really just, I can't understand it. And I have really no one to talk to about it. And I figured I would come on and talk with you guys and, see what you guys are thinking about this and what your thoughts are. Um, just to say hello, everyone. Hello, Ween, Dodie, Angelina. It's me. Hello. It's Braun. And Braun Strowman is the Universal Champion now. It's me. I'm sure you know that, but I just thought I would tell you hello, Carolyn. Um, a friend of mine on Facebook um, has hello, Tamara. How are you? Um, wrote a post on Facebook that really this story is it broke my heart anyway, but something that a friend of mine wrote on Facebook. She has a nephew that is biracial, and she made a post, and it really, stuck in my heart. And I asked her tonight. I said, "Do you mind if I share that post with my YouTube channel?" And she said, "Of course." Thanked me for asking, and I thanked her for letting me use it. And I also told her I would give her credit for her post. Hello, Cami. Are you kin to the guy? I mean, you can't help what your family does if you are. Um, I'm just saying. Well, thank you. It's me. You are too. I love all your pictures of your daughter. You have a beautiful little girl, just so you know. And I'm sure you do know that. I guess people that follow me on Facebook know that, Julia turned 14 last Sunday, um, and thinks she's 17. And oh, I couldn't imagine more than one girl. Oh, Lord. So sad. I'm in no way a relative. Okay, I just asked, and like I said, it wouldn't be an issue because you can't control, what your family does, says, anything in life. And I have a picture I'm going to show you guys too, where this officer, Derek Chauvin, he wore a hat that said, "Make whites great again." So, in my opinion, he was probably a white supremacist. And just this is just my opinion, guys. I want to talk to you about it because, like I said, I have no one to talk to at home about this stuff. But the whole world is in a pandemic right now. We're all in this together, and we need to realize that we are the human race. We're all people just floating on a rock out in space. They could get hit by an asteroid and end us all in a split second. Um, why are we different to people who look different than us? How um, how can a man kneel on someone's throat while he begs to breathe, and bystanders are begging to let him breathe, and three, four other officers, I can't remember, it was three or four other officers stood by and watched him do this because they have what's called the thin blue line. They protect each other. It's like they're pretty much a gang, in my opinion, in the United States anymore. Um, so I just I try to imagine how you could do that to someone, and I guess I've talked about this before. I can't imagine it. Um, okay, thank you, Kelly, for that information. That's what Sarah said also. So thank you, Sarah. Apparently, the picture where the guy's wearing a hat that says "Make whites great again," it's been debunked. It wasn't actually him in the picture, so I apologize for that. Wrong information. Sarah and Kelly both corrected me on that. But still, you have three other officers standing there watching him do this. Um, these officers, when you become a police officer, you take an oath to protect the Constitution to the fullest. Um, Even against your own government is in that oath. So if you're a police officer and you're sworn to a Constitution and you see another officer murdering someone, because that's what it was, it's murder. I don't care what anyone says. You are guilty too. I don't know, uh, reckless manslaughter, reckless homicide, involuntary manslaughter, something. You can't stand by and watch somebody kill someone and not be responsible for it. And also, we need to set a precedent with these three officers to show other officers in this country, if you stand by and watch something like this happen, you're going to go to jail. So that's what they need to do, in my opinion. That's my opinion. You might not agree with it. That's all right. We're all not going to agree on everything, uh, which is so true. Uh, I've learned on YouTube. So, and just to let you guys know, I live. I've told you guys this. I live in Richmond, Kentucky. They are having so far it's been peaceful protest in Lexington, Kentucky tonight, which is where the Kentucky Wildcats are from, and it's about 30 minutes away from me, um, pretty much in the very central heart of the state. They are having so far a peaceful protest tonight. Um, so far peaceful, against police brutality, to show solidarity nationwide with everything that's going on in our country right now. Now, the looting, things like that, is ridiculous. There's no reason for that. Basically, that's just thugs that see a situation that they can take advantage of and do these sort of things, in my opinion. Um, I understand when people make posts on Facebook saying, looters, you're destroying property. But the sad thing to me on that is we put a value on someone's property, but we don't put a value on someone's life. You know what I mean? I know this is bad, but you can rebuild that building, right? But you can't rebuild George Floyd. He's gone forever. Now, think about this. That police officer has his knee on this guy's throat, neck. The guy's begging for his life. He's someone's family. He's someone's brother, someone's son, father, uncle, to somebody. And with no regard for human life at all, while George Floyd begged and bystanders begged, he kept his knee on the guy's throat for 8 minutes and he died. It's on camera. I can't watch it. It hurts to me to see the picture. You all might think I'm being dramatic about this, uh, but I'm very sincere about it. Uh, like I said, when you live alone, you don't have anyone to talk to. And I thought I would come on with you guys tonight and talk about this because I need to get this out off my chest. What's bothering me, things like that. So today, Derek Chauvin, the officer, of course, they all four were fired this week from the police force, which is good. I don't know if we need to do more screening, more psychological evaluation, what we need to do, but we need to get these kind of officers off the street. There's no place for them. So anyway, I'm going to share this post that my friend on Facebook made, and her name's Amber Nicole Atkins, and I'll share the screen with you so you guys can see it too. I did get permission to use this, so she said I can show this. So it says, "I have been trying like hell to put my thoughts into words, and I just cannot. It is 2020. I don't care what your family taught you or what you grew up around or who taught you to hate everyone who isn't the same as you. Unlearn it. Because I should not have to worry about all of the bullshit that my black nephew is going to have to put up with as he gets older. I shouldn't have to worry if he's being accused of shoplifting when he's out with friends. I shouldn't have to convince my sister that he's going to be okay when he leaves the house. I shouldn't have to worry if he's pinned on the ground gasping for fucking air. I cannot begin to imagine what the family of George Floyd is going through. I just know that every time I hear another one of these stories, it makes me physically sick. I hope his family finds peace somehow. Racism is alive and among us. It is ugly and evil. And if you stand by quietly and watch it happen, much like the officer watching his brother in blue murder George Floyd, you are part of the problem." Edited to add, "This is not another all police officers are racist murders post. And if you leave comments like that, I will remove them. I love quite a few police officers who I have the most respect for. There are damn good ones, and there are really awful ones." Now, here's a picture of her nephew. I asked her, if I could show his picture. He's biracial. So that is something that she worries about her nephew. Hello, Alicia. How are you? Um, that was just an awesome post, in my opinion. It hit everything it needed to hit. It touched on everything. Um, Something has to stop. Something, and the sad thing is every time it happens, we all say we have to do something about this, and then later down the road we hear about it again, and we all know it's true. I mean, think about it. You see police officers, they stop black people, they profile people. They say they don't, but they do. Um, I was one night at the um gas station, and a black man drove up in a very nice brand new Cadillac. And I heard a police officer ask him, "Where'd you steal that from?" Just to be a smart ass. Um, he just stopped to say hello. Crazy protests. I am near Minneapolis. Okay, so Angelina says she's near Minneapolis, and of course, last night the protesters. It's been out of control for about 3 nights now, I believe, in Minneapolis, St. Paul area. And last night they burnt a police station to the ground. I don't know if they burned it to the ground. They torched it. Hello, G. Um, The officers who were stationed at that precinct abandoned the precinct from orders from others above. It was too dangerous, so they abandoned it. Um, when people say there are good cops, I believe that there are good cops. But I believe if you stand there and watch your brother in blue do this, you're not a good cop, in my opinion. Um, you should face some sort of. Okay, so Derek Chauvin is charged with third degree murder, which basically means the law reads that he killed George Floyd, but he didn't have the intent to kill him, but he caused his death. Now, I don't understand that, because if you're kneeling on someone's throat and neck, what is your intention? That's kind of silly to me. I mean, if you've got somebody's air cut off, what is your intention? Hopefully, that'll be upgraded to second, or maybe, hopefully, even first degree murder. Now, on the third degree murder charge, he will spend no more than 25 years in prison. That's the maximum sentence for third degree murder, um, where he's located in his jurisdiction. Um, I completely agree, Country Camel Girl. I don't know what else your intention would be when you have someone's airway restricted. It's me. It says, I watched a live stream of the looting last night on YouTube. The firemen in harm's way battling the blazes that have been set. It is heartbreaking, all of it. It really is. And the sad thing to me is Minneapolis, St. Paul, you had the world stage. You had the White House, the president, other countries, other police officers in this nation, all standing up for you. They were all watching, they were all listening, and you looted and set fires and things like that. You had a platform that you could have used. And like I said, I believe it's just thugs that look for reasons to take advantage and do these kind of things. Um, they, in my opinion, probably don't care one way or the other what happened. They just want to. But people say that I don't know how to explain this, because I really care. I really care that this happened to this man. I don't call him a black man, because he's to me, he's a man. We're all of the human race, and why can we not comprehend that? It's not like we can go to another planet, another universe. We're all on this giant rock in the middle of space. We're all the same inside. And if you hate someone because of the color of their skin, you are just stupid. You're not. I don't. And here's the thing: I was raised by older parents, and they looked upon black people. When I was younger, my mom would say a colored person, and she would actually say, don't play with black kids. Now, I knew that wasn't right, and getting older, um, I when I talk to somebody, I don't look at their skin. I listen to what they're saying to me, um, and to try to comprehend that bothers someone is just bizarre to me. Kel Loving Life says, Kelly says, as a mom of biracial kids, I too fear this for my kids, especially for my son, and I've had many talks with him over the years. It's very scary. It really is, Kelly. It's um, and it just takes one incident. I mean, look what happened with George Floyd. One incident, 8 minutes, and his life's over. And that's just Guys, I can't even comprehend this. That how could someone? I couldn't choke a dog. So how can you sit there with your knee on someone's throat as they beg for air? It's unbelievable to me, and I can't. I don't know, guys. It's just this one has they all bother me, but I guess you guys remember. I can't think of the guy's name. But there's been so many of them. Where the his girlfriend showed it live on Facebook. You know, they asked him for his ID, and when he reached for his wallet, they shot and killed him. And this was on Facebook Live, and her boyfriend was actually slumped over. You could hear him breathing, kind of gasping. And she's like, oh Lord, they've shot him, they've killed him. He's going to die right here beside me. And he did. Uh, if you're that scared when someone reaches for their wallet, you probably shouldn't be a police officer. That's just blunt. If you're scared, that's not the job for you. I don't know if we need more screenings, what we need to do, but we have got to get officers like Derek Chauvin off the street. They are dangerous and they are not needed as police officers anywhere in the United States. So, and Kelly, I really, really, really feel for you and hope. You know, I've seen pictures of your son and your daughter, and you can tell that he's just an intelligent man. The way he dresses, the way he carries himself in his pictures, that he's an upstanding citizen. You can just see that. But you get one cop that's like Derek Chauvin. You can go on YouTube and watch videos where they stop people of a different race and just, hey, where are you going? What's that tattoo mean on your arm? If it was me, and of course they can't say anything because they'll get hurt. Um, where are you going? What are you doing out this time of night? Is this fucking America? Did I stumble into Mexico or Germany? It doesn't matter where I'm going. Unless I'm breaking the law, leave me the hell alone. And that's the way it should be. Something has got to reform police in America. You know, in the old country, they don't even carry guns. And something I don't understand anymore. I thought you were only supposed to use lethal force when lethal force was coming at you. For instance, your gun. That should be your last option. But it seems like anymore in this country, that is the police officer's first option is to pull his gun and shoot. He probably has a taser. He probably has pepper spray. He probably has an extendable baton. So he probably has at least handcuffs to restrain. And usually there's uh, more than one officer. So why go straight to the gun? You shouldn't meet lethal force unless lethal force is being and they had a riot, kind of a riot. It was a protest that got out of control in Louisville, Kentucky last night. And here's what happened there. I'm pretty sure the girl's name was Breonna Taylor. We can look it up and check. But what happened was is her and her boyfriend was sitting in their house, not bothering anyone. He has a gun for home defense, which a lot of people in America do. I do. I carry a gun at all times. If if you see me and I'm not at work, I have a gun on me. And it's to protect my life and my kids' life and anyone else's life around me. Um, But what happened was they were sitting in their house, minding their own business, doing what they wanted to do because it was their house. The cops bust down the door. The occupants of the home, not knowing that it's the police, um, shoot at the officers. The officers return fire and they kill Breonna Taylor. And the sad part about this is they were serving a warrant and they had busted through the wrong house. So in Louisville last night there was protests over that. Yes, Kelly, Philando Castile. Thank you. Falcon Heights, Minnesota. So that was in Minnesota. So the same state as this, Minneapolis and Falcon Heights. So, you know, and I could imagine that if I was sitting, on my couch, let's just say me and my daughter were sitting there, and the door gets kicked open, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm probably not going to shoot right away, but I'm going to try to find out with my weapon drawn what the hell's going on. And the sad thing is these people were in their own home, minding their own business, not breaking the law. They hadn't broke the law. They wasn't sought by the law. They had no warrants. The police went to the wrong house, and the girl ends up getting killed. And people say, "Oh, it was a mistake." No, a mistake is when you spell thief THIEF or EIF. That's a mistake. Busting in the wrong freaking door and killing somebody at the wrong house you're serving a warrant out is beyond a mistake. Oh, Lisa, thank you. Glad to see you. I've been thinking about this lately, and I thought about maybe starting something on Patreon. Now, you guys want to listen to me because I haven't decided yet. But when I was in drug addiction, I was addicted to painkillers for 3 to 4 years, somewhere around that. And I kept journals, and a lot of the journals are very detailed. It goes in real depth about someone with addiction. I might just do it on YouTube. The only reason I say Patreon is not to get it paid for, but the simple fact that, it would be a subject that you could say, hey, I want to see this, whatever. No, I haven't, Kelly. The other two cops were Asian. I'm Asian. Was scared being profiled with COVID stuff. Now really scared. Love you, Brian. Not sure who to believe on YouTube. Thank you, Pamela Nakagawa. I hope I pronounced that right. No, Kelly. Can you? Is it too much to type up, or can you send me a picture and I'll show it on the screen? Like I said, I basically just wanted to come on and talk with you guys because I can't just imagine. I mean, did the guy not think, hey, this is somebody's relative, this is somebody's family? Um, you know. Okay, Kelly, thank you. Um, so, like I said, and I don't think we. It's like me, I want to do something, but what can I do? Um, I'm not going to go out and loot and burn stuff or things like that. Um, but I want change. This should not happen. It should never happen. We should not even hear about things like this happen. He's obviously a bad cop, but I don't understand how this happened with people standing there watching and videoing. Why didn't someone call 911? This really doesn't make sense. Wondering, Alice, I agree completely with that. Okay, here's how I think about this subject. If you're a police officer, there was three other officers standing there. If you're a police officer, you're sworn to the Constitution to uphold it, to protect it, and to preserve and protect the people. And it also says that you are to protect attacks even from your own government. So that officer basically was becoming a criminal right there in front of those other three officers, in my opinion. In my opinion, it was their duty to detain this officer and charge him with assault because that's what was happening. But here's the problem with that: we have the thin blue line, guys, where oh, that's my brother, that's my sister. Um, I can't tell on him. I can't stop him. I'll be picked on in the locker room. I'll be the joke of the force. You know, they'll put me on the school guard crossing. They'll do everything in their power to get me to quit the force. A few years ago, you can watch this video on YouTube. A female state trooper she's a state trooper in Florida, and she pulls over a city police officer. He was in another jurisdiction because he was going to training and he was late, so he was running like 90 miles an hour. So she pulls him over. And like I said, if you want to check this video out on YouTube, it's on there. It's great. She stops him, and it took a while for him to pull over because I guess he's thinking, what the hell's going on. So he finally pulls over. She gets him out of the car. She searches him. I mean, I don't understand the search because she obviously had a gun on him. He had, a weapon right on his side. But she was ridiculed at work to the point where she had to resign because what had happened was she violated the thin blue line. And guys, you might not agree with me, but when I see an American flag on a police car that's black and has a blue line through it, that is desecration to the flag of our country. I really want to go up and just rip those stickers off of police cars. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I would get in trouble for that. But that's really what I want to do because sorry about that, guys. I thought I had my phone on silent. Somebody sent me messages. Give me a second. Well, thank you, Tamara. I appreciate that. Um, I don't like that flag on police cars. I don't, not at all. Uh, the American flag is red and white stripes, blue stars. Uh, that's a desecration to our flag. Um, a lot of people had problems uh, with the quarterback of the 49ers, Colin Kaepernick. He knelt at the beginning of the game when they played the national anthem. He kneeled in protest of police brutality against black people of different color. And he was basically, in my opinion, almost forced out of the NFL over this. And the sad thing is people say, oh, you shouldn't do that. My dad was in 2 wars. He's dead and gone now, but he told me, we fought for the right for you to kneel if you don't want to stand at that national anthem. Just because you don't agree with him doesn't mean he doesn't have the right to do that. We need to respect that. Um, and pay attention to that. Just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean it's wrong. And I think that's a lot of what the problem is in America these days. It's like, oh my God, uh, I don't do that in my house. Holy shit, that's just wrong. We're not never going around these people again. What you do in your house, I might not do in my house. But the simple fact of it is, it's it should be nobody's business. Um, Thank you, Patricia. Hope all is good with you. They should all be criminally charged. Anyone who stood there doing nothing, even the person with the phone. I agree. And the sad thing is, guys, is if say let's say, and thank you, it's me. If one of those civilians had walked up and grabbed Derek Chauvin and pulled him off of George Floyd, they probably would have also been attacked. And see, that's the problem. When they are doing this, they are no longer police officers. They are criminals in a gang with a blue uniform and a badge. If someone hasn't broken the law, you don't have the right. And if they're saving someone's life and you're stopping them from saving someone's life, do they not see the problem with that? I mean, it's like if you take the badge and the uniform off the people and you just say you got people there in regular clothes, and you see a guy knelt down, if a normal guy, you walked up and a normal guy in civilian clothes was standing on my neck and I was begging to guess, someone would pull him off because that's what we would do. But if a police officer's doing it, we just continue to let it happen. And so I don't understand that. Something has got to give, has got to stop. Thank you, Kelly. Um, I'm logged into to both, so let me see. Uh, I'll try to get it up on the screen. Is it the one you posted on the True Crime Files page, Kelly? Because if it is, I can just pull it up and show the screen. Kelly, you really need to come on a live with me. I need like a partner, somebody I can talk back and forth with. Let me see if the email is the same thing that you posted on the True Crime Files page. Give me just a second, guys. Sorry about this. Hope everyone's been well. It's been a while, guys, hasn't it? Okay, so let's see here. Okay, yeah. So that's the same thing you posted. Okay. Um, FYI, his family is going to have a private autopsy done. Previous cases have had findings in favor of law enforcement that were otherwise found to be different once a private autopsy was done. Key part is listen to the part that his pulse was not detected and he continued to keep his knee on him. Also, I'd like to see the video of him resisting. Nothing yet has been released. Not that it matters. Um, wow. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen and show this. If I can get it up there. Okay, so it says, "Who is Derek M. Chauvin?" He was a Minneapolis police officer. He was fired this past week. He murdered George Floyd on May 25th, 2020. Uh, the restraint technique used by Chauvin to murder Floyd was not part of the department's training. Being represented by Tom Kelly, the same attorney who got Officer Geronimo Yanez, who murdered Philando Castile, acquitted. Derek Chauvin was put on leave in 2011 for inappropriate police shooting of Alaskan Native American Leroy Martinez. Chauvin shot Ira Latrell Tolles, and an unarmed black 21-year-old man in 2008. Chauvin was one of the officers who murdered Wayne Reyes, a Latino man with 16 bullets. Forced him into a total of 42 rounds were shot off. Chauvin and another officer were chasing a car in 2005, causing the death of 3 people, according to Communities United Against Police Brutality. There are 12 brutality complaints against Chauvin in the Minneapolis Office of Police Conduct Complaint Database. They are all listed as closed, non-public, and no discipline. And then here is the 12 charges. So this must just be like the case number. Closed with no discipline, that's 1. 2, closed with no discipline. 3, closed with no discipline. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, 15 closed with no discipline and no further commentary. This one says closed with discipline. He had a discretion letter of reprimand. He had closed with discipline, MVR letter of reprimand, and closed with no discipline. So, how in the hell was this guy even a cop? No, I agree, Camel Country Girl. But the lawyer the family got is from New York. He's renowned for getting autopsies privately done for the family before. He's worked other cases. I just can't get over the fact that someone tonight is dead because the police officer had his knee on his throat and wouldn't let the guy breathe. Did we not learn from Mr. Gardner in New York back in 2015 when the officer put him in a chokehold because he was selling cigarettes? Why are you going to put someone in a chokehold for something silly like that? I mean, if you walk up to a house and a man is killing his wife and his kids and you do something, I can understand that. But to I just don't get it. Kelly says, read the arrest complaint. It's worse. It was really small. I couldn't hardly see it. So let me see if I can. Give me a second here. Let's see. Yeah, see, I can't blow it up. So it's not very big. Here, let me share it on True Crime Files, and then I'll share it. We can all read it together. Let's see. Group. True Crime Files. I'm going to share the arrest complaint. Okay, so Kelly says it's already on there. I can't see really fine print. So let me go on there and see where it is. I'm not seeing it, Kelly. So, and I can't see what you guys are writing right now. So give me just a second. I'm on a different page. I know. Every time you come on YouTube now, they freaking. All right, here it is. So hopefully I'll be able to read this if it's bigger. Okay, so let me share the page with you guys, and we'll read this together. All righty. All right, state of Minnesota versus Derek Michael Chauvin. Date of birth 3/19/1976. So he's the same age as me. Oakdale, Minnesota. The complainant submits this complaint to the court and states that there is probable cause to believe defendant committed the following offenses. Count 1, charge murder, third degree, perpetrating imminently dangerous act and evincing depraved mind. Minnesota Statute 609-159, maximum sentence 25 years, felony offense. Offense date is 5/25. Charge description: that or on or about May 25th in Hennepin County, Minnesota, Derek Michael Chauvin caused the death of George Floyd by perpetrating an act imminently dangerous to others and evincing a depraved mind without regard for human life. Count 2, charge manslaughter, second degree, culpable negligence creating unreasonable risk. Maximum sentence is 10 years and or $20,000 fine. Charge description: that or on May 25th, Derek Michael Chauvin caused the death of George Floyd. Basically what it said in the other one. Let's see. On May 25th, 2020, someone called 911 and reported that a man bought merchandise from Cup Foods at 3759 Chicago Avenue in Minneapolis, Hennepin County, with a counterfeit $20 bill. At 8:08 p.m., Minnesota police officers Thomas Lane and J.A. Quang arrived with their body-worn cameras activated and running. The officers learned from store personnel that the man who passed the counterfeit 20 was parked in a car around the corner from the store on 38th Street. Body-worn cameras video obtained by the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension shows that the officers approached the car, Lane on the driver's side and Quang on the passenger side. 3 people were in the car. George Floyd was in the driver's seat, a known adult male was in the passenger seat, and a known adult female was sitting in the back seat. As Officer Lane began speaking with Mr. Floyd, he pulled his gun out and pointed it at Mr. Floyd's open window and directed Mr. Floyd to show his hands. When Mr. Floyd put his hands on the steering wheel, Lane put his gun back in its holster. While Officer Quang was speaking with the front seat passenger, Officer Lane ordered Mr. Floyd out of the car, put his hands on Mr. Floyd, and pulled him out of the car. Officer Lane handcuffed Mr. Floyd. Mr. Floyd actively resisted being handcuffed. Once handcuffed, Mr. Floyd became compliant and walked with Officer Lane to the sidewalk and sat on the ground at Officer Lane's direction. In a conversation that lasted just under 2 minutes, Officer Lane asked Mr. Floyd for his name and identification. Officer Lane asked Mr. Floyd if he was on anything and had explained that he was arresting Mr. Floyd for passing counterfeit currency. Officer Quang and Lane stood Mr. Floyd up and attempted to walk Mr. Floyd to their squad car, MPD 320. At 8:14 p.m., Mr. Floyd stiffened up, fell to the ground, and told the officers he was claustrophobic. MPD officers Derek Chauvin, the defendant, and Tao Theo, I know I'm pronouncing that terribly, then arrived in a separate squad car. The officers made several attempts to get Mr. Floyd in the back seat of Squad 320 from the driver's side. Mr. Floyd did not voluntarily get in the car and struggled with the officers by intentionally falling down, saying he was not going in the car, and refusing to stand still. Mr. Floyd is over 6 feet tall and weighs more than 200 pounds. While standing outside the car, Mr. Floyd began saying and repeating that he could not breathe. The defendant went to the passenger side and tried to get Mr. Floyd into the car from that side, and Lane and Quang assisted. The defendant pulled Mr. Floyd out of the passenger side of the squad car at 8:38 p.m., and Mr. Floyd went to the ground face down and still handcuffed. Quang held Mr. Floyd's back and Lane held his legs. The defendant placed his left knee in the area of Mr. Floyd's head and neck. Mr. Floyd said, "I can't breathe," multiple times, and repeatedly said, "Mama," and "please" as well. The defendant and the other 2 officers stayed in their positions. The officer said, "You are talking fine," to Mr. Floyd as he continued to move back and forth. Lane asked, "Should we roll him on his side?" And the defendant said, "No, staying put where we got him." Officer Lane said, "I'm worried about excited delirium or whatever." The defendant said, "That's why we have him on his stomach." None of the 3 officers removed from their positions. Body-worn camera video shows Mr. Floyd continue to move and breathe. At 8:24 p.m., Mr. Floyd stopped moving. At 8:25, the video appears to show Mr. Floyd ceasing to breathe or speak. Lane said, "Want to roll him on his side." Quang checked Mr. Floyd's right wrist for pulse and said, "I couldn't find one." None of the officers moved from their positions. At 8:27, the defendant removed his knee from Mr. Floyd's neck. An ambulance and emergency medical personnel arrived. The officers placed Mr. Floyd on a gurney, and the ambulance left the scene. Mr. Floyd was pronounced dead at Hennepin County Medical Center. God. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner conducted Mr. Floyd's autopsy on May 26, 2020. The full report of the ME is pending, but the ME uh, has made the following preliminary findings. The autopsy revealed no physical findings that support a diagnosis of traumatic asphyxiation or strangulation. Mr. Floyd had underlying health conditions, including coronary artery disease and hypertensive heart disease. The combined effects of Mr. Floyd being restrained by the police, his underlying health conditions, and any potential intoxicants in his system likely contributed to his death. The defendant had his knee on Mr. Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in total. Damn. 2 minutes and 53 seconds of this was after Mr. Floyd was non-responsive. Police are trained that this type of restraint with a subject in a prone position is inherently dangerous. Defendant is in custody. Let's see. And I believe so. There was a warrant, and I believe his bond is $500,000. I believe that's just oh shit, unbelievable. Um, Kelly, that's the thing. When the police do something wrong, it's them that investigate it, and I don't understand how that can work. Um, the only reason this officer is charged and still not a police officer is because a video of what happened. If there was no video of this and it did not get released to the public, Derek Chauvin would be patrolling the streets tonight and doing his whatever. He would still be patrolling the streets tonight had this video not surfaced and made such national attention. They've got him on the ground. One of the officers wanted to roll him over, and Chauvin said no, keep him on his stomach. He kept his knee on his neck for 2 minutes and 53 seconds after he was non-responsive. It's unbelievable. How many police officers are on patrol tonight that are just like this Derek Chauvin guy? We have got to do something to screen these officers, to get these kind of officers. These guys are dangerous. Other officers should not want to work with guys like this. It endangers their life. I was talking to somebody today. Imagine this. Let's say Derek Chauvin got a call from dispatch. And they dispatched him to a call. And let's say they also dispatched a black officer. If the shit hit the fan on this call, would Chauvin protect that black officer? See, I wonder about that too. And I've wondered about that. How many times has he went on call with a black officer where he probably is like, well, I don't care what happens to him. And Kelly said he peed on himself. When you die, you release your bladder and your bowels. A grown man begging for his mama he's in handcuffs. There's 3 of you. Why in the hell are you on his neck anyway? I think what started all of this, just my opinion. You guys remember the TV show Cops, where they all went around, throwing people to the ground, kicking doors in. I think that's what got cops rolling like they roll today. They're a gang. They're a gang with a badge. And I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm not saying that. I'm not one of those guys that every police officer is bad. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you sit there and you watch another officer murder another human being, you are not a good police officer. You should not have that uniform, and you should be charged. All three of those officers should be charged with reckless homicide, involuntary manslaughter, to set a precedent that should show other officers, police officers in this country, that once you see an officer committing a crime of murdering a person, you then have sworn to the Constitution to protect that man from that officer who is now breaking the law. I mean, it's a switch. I know that. And the thin blue line, you're going to be in trouble with your brothers of blue. But at some point, they've got to get rid of this thin blue line mentality. I understand it's a brotherhood. They want to protect each other, this, that, and the other. It shouldn't be to the point where another officer murders someone and you cover his ass by writing a false report. And how many times does that happen? I bet it happens all the time. I think these four officers were all fired. If they had a pension, they should not get it. They should not get anything. They ruined their careers. They done it to themselves. And people say, "Oh, we can't do this to them." Nobody's doing it to them. They done it to themselves. When they sit there and watch this guy murder someone right in front of them, when they're sworn to protect that person, no matter who's attacking him, when this situation going on, the police officer is now the criminal. You see what I'm saying? When he's killing this man in front of you, he is now the criminal, and the man on the ground is the victim. We have to get cops to have that mentality. And we have to set a precedent with these three officers that show if you do something like this, you're going to be charged and you're going to lose your job and you could possibly go to prison and have a massive fine. And set that precedent so other officers, when they see shit like this happening, it stops. And it stops right then. This should have never happened. George Floyd should be alive tonight. And it's sad that he's not. He passed a counterfeit $20 bill. Whoop-de fucking do. You're going to kill a man because he passed a counterfeit $20 bill? He might not have even known it was a counterfeit $20 bill. Someone may have given it to him. You know, when you walk up on somebody, they said the officer pulled his gun and told him to put his hands on the steering wheel. Right there, you know, cops are supposed to de-escalate situations when they arrive. When they arrive on the scene and the first thing they do is pull their gun, why do they pull their gun? That's their lethal weapon. That should be the last resort for that officer. Anymore in this day and time, they always go to the gun. And here in Richmond, it's not like a small town. We have many traffic lights. Don't get me wrong. It's not tiny, but it's not a huge city. You know, probably like Kelly lives in or anything like that. But there was a man. They had him in a high speed chase down the interstate. He had gotten in a scuffle with a police officer in Lexington, and he had taken the police officer's taser. They had already searched him, everything. They knew he did not have a weapon other than the officer's taser that he stole. He got in a car, and they pursued him. It was a high-speed chase down the interstate. It came to Richmond, and right down the street from where I live, I'll try to find this video and play it for you guys on my next live. They knew this guy only had a taser. He was mentally ill. They knew that. He needed help. That's what they was trying to, or said they was trying to do. If you put 150 bullets in someone, are you really? And here's what gets me. You call, let's say, for instance, you have a family member that's going to commit suicide. the police show up and pull guns on them. They're going to kill them. I don't understand that. That doesn't make any freaking sense at all. Something has got to change, guys. Something has got to change. And people say, well, what can I do? Well, if I do something and you do something and there's 19 people in this room and we all do something, uh, that's what can make the change. And I hate that there are people of different color than me in this country that have to worry about things like this because of the color of their skin. That is ignorance, stupidity. It's not understanding completely. I don't know how someone could have that mentality. It just does not make any sense to me. So, but anyway, guys, it's been an hour. I just really wanted to come on and talk to you guys about this because, man, this one's really got to me, and I might come on tomorrow. I'm off the next couple of days. Um, I don't know, guys. It's just it shouldn't have happened. Yes, sweet Bilby, how are you? It has been a while, guys, and hello, Lori, and a lot of you guys that I didn't, because I try not to read the comments while I'm talking because if I do, no, Raven, it's still there. Um, I get distracted, and of course, so if I missed your comment or something, please forgive me. If I missed saying hello to you, please forgive me. Hello, everyone. Um, Man, I really miss doing these lives. I really do. And damn, it's just time and family and things. But you've been booted. Um, what's your name on Facebook? Um, please come on again soon. I'm going to try. I have an idea I was talking about earlier. I When I was in addiction and in rehab and things like that, I wrote journals just in a 200-page notebook. Uh, and well, Sarah or Kelly, are either of you guys still in the room? Do you know if Don O'Brien has been blocked on the Facebook page? Dawn, or not Dawn, but Sarah and Kelly usually take care of the Facebook page. I read it all the time, but I just don't have a lot of time to put stuff on and everything. Well, thank you, sweet Billy. Love back to you. Um, Raven, Kelly says it shows that you're on there, so you should be good to go. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Kelly. You guys are great. Kelly, when this happened, I'll be honest with you, I thought about you a lot because, I know you have biracial children. I know that, I mean, I can't imagine it, but I try to. Um, because, you're my friend, and to know that you have to worry about things like this just in, um, 1 second, one split decision, a counterfeit $20 bill, and Gerald George Floyd is dead tonight. How did we get from passing a counterfeit $20 bill to a man begging mama, I can't breathe, urinating on himself, and the cops still holding him down, one with the knee on the neck? How can that happen? I don't know. But Kelly, I'll be honest with you. I do believe in God, and I pray a lot for you. Um, I'm really fond of you. I think the world of you. You're a really good person. You know, you stood by me thick and thin. Uh, you've told me things. You've been straight up, straightforward with me, and I appreciate that more than you know. Um, I'm the kind of person that if you hate me and I'd rather you come up to my face and call me, tell me you hate me than to come up and act like my friend and talk about me behind my back. That's just the kind of person I am. And a lot of times, Raven, it say for instance, I don't know if you notice on Facebook, but let's say if you read a certain person's post, that person will come up on your timeline a lot. And if there's a person that you don't check their posts a lot, they'll stop putting that on your timeline because it's like you're not interested in that. And I've learned that Facebook does that. So that might. Lori, there was a police officer's been arrested today and charged with third degree murder, which is a felony with a maximum of 25 years. In my opinion, it should be second or first degree murder. He put his knee on a victim that was in their custody, restrained with handcuffs, three people on him, and one officer with his knee on his neck for 8 minutes. For 2 minutes and 53 seconds after the man became non responsive, the man was pronounced dead at the hospital. The man's name is George Floyd. Hashtag justice for George. But anyway, guys, I'm going to take off because it's been an hour. And I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me just carry on about this, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. This one has. It seems like there's always a story out there that just, I don't know why, but it hits me, and it makes me want to do something, and I just don't know what to do, but I want to do something. Um, I don't know. I can't believe that in 2020, in the United States of America, that this happens. I can't believe that. It shouldn't happen. It should never happen. Like I said earlier, cops in England don't even carry guns. Why is that your first resort when something happens? You go for your gun. Have you noticed, like when you watch like that PD Live or Live PD, whatever it is, the first thing they do on a traffic stop is pull out their gun. They go to lethal force as their first option on everything. And you've got other options. You've been trained to restrain people. You've been trained to use a baton, use pepper spray, a taser. Just why go straight to your handgun? I mean, they need to get that mentality out of police officers, in my opinion. Um, when I worked at my one job that I was at for 7 years and got fired back last July, um, the police academy for the whole state of Kentucky. Now, Lexington and Louisville, they have their own police academies. But for all the small counties, and there's 120 counties in Kentucky, which is a lot. So, and this police academy is like ranked number one in the nation. It's supposed to be like the best police academy in the country. It was right across the street from where I worked, and you could hear them guys out there when they were shooting, and it was unbelievable how many rounds they put off when they was practicing. Unbelievable. And then they have their own roads and traffic lights and everything up, and they'll go around doing high speed chases and different things like that. But it's really just I just don't understand why they automatically go for the gun for the first thing. Let me see if I can find this video for you guys. Give me just, I'm not on the page, so I can't see what you say. But I want to try to find this video of what happened that night when the guy stole the officer's taser. And that's all he had was the taser. He didn't have no other weapons. They had already searched him. But I want to try to find this video for you guys of what happened. I mean, they killed him. They loaded him full. I mean, if I can find this video, when you see how many times they shot at or hit this guy, it's unbelievable. Let me try to find this. See photos. See if there's a place for videos. Give me a second, guys. I can't see anything you're saying, so. I know she posted it up not too long ago. So let me try to find it. Sorry, guys. I can't see anything you're saying because I'm on a different page because I want to find this video for you. Shit. Let me go to her. It might be on her photos. See y'all. I'm sorry about this, guys, but if you see this video, it's just unbelievable what they do to this guy. And like I said, he only had a taser. I'm in her pictures now. I'm trying to see if sometimes videos are. Oh, here are the videos. Here it is. Okay, that's not it. Sorry, trying to find it. And this happened right here. Like I said, it's not a huge town, but it's not like a one stoplight town either. But it was just unbelievable that something like this happened in this size of a town, especially when it was just one man. So give me just a second. Try to find this video. I'm sorry, guys. I can't see anything you're saying. I'm on a different page trying to find this video. And it might be a while back because it happened. It's been a couple of years ago now. Oh yeah, and just another story for you guys. When I go out to work, I usually leave around 5:30, something like that in the morning. And the other day, a lot of times I'll stop at this little gas station called Speedway, and I'll get me a Red Bull or something, some kind of energy drink to get me woken up, Starbucks, something like that. And anyway, there was a guy on a bicycle, and he was crossing the street and he got hit by a truck, and he died later that day. And he was only 27 years old, and it was just tragic. I mean, crossing the street at 5 a.m. in the morning. I mean, there's no traffic. I see how that happened, but I mean, it did. So I'm trying to find this video because what happened here is just, I mean, you'll hear if I can find it, you'll hear the bullets ring out of how many times they shot this one man and him being armed with the taser. Sorry, guys. I thought it would be a lot easier than this. I tell you what, I'll just send her a message and ask her to tag me in that video. So let's see, can you? That night, sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. Can't talk with you guys at the same time. I send her this message. Okay. See if she responds to this, and we'll see. Well, in my opinion, anything that I can understand if you're in fear for your life or another officer's life or citizens standing around just enjoying life. If you're in danger and have to use lethal force, I understand that. But to do it to a man who is handcuffed on his stomach on the ground saying he can't breathe, what in the fucking hell is your problem that you can't lift your knee up and let that man breathe? I couldn't do that to a dog. And he done that to a human being. And I try to think about how does he feel now, knowing I've lost my job, my career's gone, I'm charged with third-degree murder. I mean, is he searching himself to say what's wrong with me? Because he probably should be. I don't know, guys, but like I said, I needed somebody to talk to about this story because it's really on me. It really is. It's pulling my heartstrings pretty badly that something like this can happen in 2020 in the United States of America. I'm off the next 2 days, guys. I'll try to come on if you guys want me to. Just keep an eye out. I know I say that all the time, and I don't come on, but I really need to try to be on more. So I'll try to be on tomorrow. And I'll definitely try to be on a lot earlier than it was today. She sent me this video of Laquan McDonald. Let me go on YouTube and find that. Just give me just a second, guys. She was shot 16 times by police. Unbelievable. Okay. Okay. I'm going to start this over, guys. Let me start it over. Chicago officials released this video from October 20th, 2014 of the shooting of Laquan McDonald. This video contains graphic scenes of violence. So let me get on my channel on my phone. I got the sound all the way up. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I can't hear it very well either. But in this video, this woman is shot 17 times. I believe. This is very graphic. It says. Sarah, you can go to bed, honey. I didn't mean to keep you up. Thank you though, and I'll definitely try to be on earlier. I was delivering Uber Eats tonight. We got really busy tonight, which surprised me because they've eased up, allowing people with social distancing to go in restaurants and eat now. So it surprised me that we were that as busy as we were. So you can't hardly see much here. So I'm looking down because I'm trying to read comments and then watch the video at the same time. It's just an ad, I guess. Okay, well, I didn't see anything on that. It's I'm just curious there. It's light outside at 4:20 in the morning there. The guy I was talking about is happened here in Richmond. His name was Jesse something, and I can't remember at time. But this girl that I'm sending this message to, she's a social worker in Clark County, the town that my lives, and she got really involved with like the family of this guy and what happened to him, and she took a real, I guess, what you would say, interest in, and you know, tried to make some sort of stand against what happened to this guy named Jesse. I cannot think of his last name. It's probably been 4 or 5 years ago now, but it was just unbelievable how many times they shot him, and knowing he only had a taser, um, and knowing that he was mentally ill and off his medication. I mean, I understand that it's bad that the police have to deal with mentally ill in this country. That the police shouldn't be dealing with mentally ill. The doctors and therapists and psychiatrists should be dealing with the mentally ill, not police officers. Um, you got somebody that's going to commit suicide, and the police show up and shoot him. Now, what's the point of that? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. Like I said, that's what I'm saying. I want to do something, but what can I do? What can we all do? We have to do something. And not looting and setting stuff on fire, that's not the answer. Um, I do believe that with social media as strong and prevalent as it is in this day and age, that we have a platform right now where people are watching and they're seeing this, and um, in my opinion, so how's your house coming, Kelly? Are you moving in and everything now? I haven't talked to you a lot here lately. I figured you was busy with your house and stuff. Jesse Gibbons, is that what his name was? The guy in Richmond, Kentucky. Did just out of curiosity, did you know about that story about Jesse Kelly before I talked about it tonight, or did you just look it up when I was talking about it? That actually might be on YouTube. Somebody might have uploaded it. Okay, I'm on another page. So. Okay, sorry guys, Kelly's telling me where to get this. So it happened September 13th. Okay.
Overhead, they're talking about the hill across the street from the shell. Is this 10-4?
I believe so, 464.
Okay,
Well, boy,
check this out, guys.
Fired again. We have shots fired again.
Air one.
That's 10-4. I'll move my light off for a minute. I don't want to backlight them. He's laying on the ground, almost to the rear of the vehicle, directly on the driver's side. Air one, be advised, he is still moving. He is still moving down there. He's waving what appears to be a firearm. He's trying to sit up now. He's still attempting to crawl basically down the middle of where the tracks of his vehicle entered the woods. Not making a whole lot of progress, but he's still moving around.
I got to head out.
Yes, got ahead.
All right, they're dragging him. Air one, they've extracted him, and he's moving back towards the car. Looks like the team that went up is going to clear the car next.
All units, we're temporarily going to take east and west to west. Temporarily going to take east and west to west until we resolve this situation in Richmond Authority Communications.
Okay, so that was the helicopter view. Jesse Gibbons, just tragic. Like I said, that happened just down the street from my house. 67 shell casings shot by police found at the scene, but reports possible over 100 shots fired. Ridiculous. Kelly, the video that my friend, now my son, this is the God's honest truth, and it scared the living hell out of me. Okay, let's say the shooting is right here. My son, his aunt, and my daughter was there, but I think it was her son. They were probably just a couple of stores away at the Dollar General store when this happened. And the one guy was at the shell, ducked behind his car. He was the one that shot the video. He's like, I can't believe this is Richmond, fucking Kentucky. You know, there's having a police shootout, and I mean, it just sounded like they set this guy up as a target. That's what I'm saying. What is the reason for that much force on a man with a taser? Something has got to stop. But anyway, guys, I've rambled on, saying the same thing over and over. I needed to talk to you guys. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I hope you have a good night, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll definitely be on earlier when I come on tomorrow. I just happened to be late tonight because I was doing some running. So I do miss you guys a lot. I really do. And hopefully see you tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a great night. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.